interesting. It was rewarding, tough. It was challenging, as it would always be with anyone. And I think in the end, we created something amazing together.
And lots of people definitely agree to that one. Actually, we got a question. We got this big question for our boss RSB later on. If we would be having, another season, is that right? Yeah. Yep. So RSB, you better prepare for that big question later on. Okay, boss.
Okay.
Okay. So to Sir Francis, I'm just curious, how was the reception of the viewers abroad to Almost Paradise?
I think it's very well. Dean will, I'm sure, speak to that a little bit better. But I think the reception's, like Dean said in the beginning, it's great when you create a show that's like a comfortable shoe that you can put on every week, and you invite all these wonderful people to your house every week. And what I think the show does is it gives that to the audience, but in an exciting, kind of unique environment, an environment that they hadn't seen before. So I think that's interesting to a lot of people, and I think they responded very well.
Mm-hmm. Actually, talking about the environment, I got this question to Sir Dean. We're just really proud of this series, but out of all the places, why did you choose Cebu as the main location of that particular series?
Well, there's so many wonderful resorts in the Philippines. So if you were only choosing a resort, it would be incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But because of the needs of the show, we needed to have city and resort, and we needed to have a place that we could shoot. So, Cebu was just kind of perfect. There's so many beautiful resorts in such a short drive from one another. And yet there is Cebu and Mactan, really terrific cities to work in. And of course, there happened to be the perfect studio for us there. So, I mean, it honestly, how I chose it's kind of embarrassing. I was actually using Google Earth. And I saw the resort, and I said, oh my God, that's the perfect resort for the show. And then as I was looking at it, I said, wait a minute, there's a studio 5 minutes away? What? And that's how it kind of all started.
Out of proximity and all. But great location, great story. And I have to say, Sir Christian Kane, you're just amazing whenever we see you on television. Who were your inspiration or pegs for your character, Alex Walker?
Well, the funny thing about Alex is that Dean brought this to my attention a few years before we started filming. He was like, I've got this great role. He goes, you're too young. And it just so happened, I guess I aged into the role. And so, somebody in this situation with anxiety, with heart problems, with all this other kind of stuff, I sort of knew about this whole cat. And it wasn't XDEA. I've been playing that for a couple of years on different shows and stuff like that. But Dean wrote for me. He knew me at that point. We'd become friends, and he wrote for me. So it was just, it was very easy stepping into this role. The problems that I had was, now you have this American being put into the Philippines, and I was like very anxious, very nervous, all this other kind of stuff. And the thing is, I was treated more like family there than I've ever been in my entire life. It just felt like home. I got to relax right when I got off the plane. There was no, anxiety, no nothing. I had some of the best people around me. Art I had met when I got there. Sam I had met, but before I got there. Noni was. I met Noni. It was in Cess and everybody else. It was incredible, man. They welcomed me in, and so I got to concentrate on the character, not concentrate on a guy being away from home. I felt like I was at home, and so it was very simple.
Well, that's nice. That's a nice statement right there. Out of curiosity, did you get to try the Art Noni brew coffee that they
Yeah, exactly. I didn't. Go ahead, Noni. to say something. Go ahead, Noni.
No, because he was. We were talking about Art and I were living beside each other. We were neighbors, and so we both woke up at 4 a.m. at the same time, and so I would make my coffee press and share it with him. But you were somewhere. You were in another place. So, yeah.
Maybe
Oh, I
for-
thought he. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was. I didn't realize it. I thought he was talking about the food. Because
Oh no.
right now.
They were asking me earlier what were my nice memories, and I mentioned that the two old men waking up very early in the morning and taking coffee together. we're up and everybody else was asleep. So,
Oh, let's get to that one. Let's get to that one before we ask VJ Adi, coming from the #1 music channel in the Philippines, for questions. What was your favorite memory in Cebu, Christian?
Oh man, I got to be honest with you, and I'm so sorry to restate this. My favorite memory in Cebu was getting there and being so nervous about being the only American there, and I've got to do just becoming, it was like, are they going to look at me different? Are you going to, and they never did. It was just family. And that was my best memory of Cebu. And that's why I want to go back so bad. Was because I left family there, man. I've left some more family than I've ever had in my entire life. I left in Cebu. Well, I left in the Philippines, I should say, but that was my best memory. My best memory was the open arms that I ran into, and to do a show like this and to make it as successful as I think we have, you need that. And we all hugged each other, and we're all a family, and I love it.
Looking at the future, we can do it two ways. Sir Dean, it's either we come up with season 2, or we just have a vacation right here when the pandemic simmers down. Okay, when the pandemic simmers down. We got a plethora of questions for you guys, but I think Ayi, who wants to be part of episode 11, has a couple of questions for you guys. Sorry, Ayi, only 10 episodes.
Hi, Robbie.
Hello.
No problem. Hi, Robbie. Hi, Justin, and to the terrific filmmakers and cast of Almost Paradise. I'm Ai from the #1 music channel in the Philippines, Mix. My first question is for Mr. Christian Kane. Now that you're on a roll, you are taking a trip down memory lane. I know it's been a year, but can you tell us more about your fondest memories shooting Almost Paradise? And aside from the people, aside from the family that you built, what do you miss most about Cebu and the Philippines?
It's a funny fact. There was a scene with me and Art where it was the very first episode, and Art comes out and he sits down with me on the beach, and I'm having a really bad time in my life, and he introduces me to Mabuhay, and he said, "This is Mabuhay," and it's weird because we were acting, but at the same time, I got the meaning as he was telling it to me, because Art is an unbelievable actor. And he also instilled that in me at the same time. So we were in the scene, but if you watch it, I literally look out, I look over the water, and I understand the meaning. And that was one of my favorite things in the world, is it actually happened on film, where I understood Mabuhay for the first time.
And I love how you remembered the word even 1 year after shooting it, and after 1 year after learning about it. So that really speaks volumes as to how much you value that word. Art, anything to add about this special word that you taught Christian?
It wasn't hard talking to Christian. I guess that was part of the audition process. You got to find out if there's chemistry between people. And Christian's an incredible actor. He doesn't just talk to you. It's just he doesn't use words to talk to you. You can see images in your head. You don't hear the words. So the communication between him and I, and the rest, Chivo Campo, Kai Mendoza, everybody, we knew how to listen to each other. And that's very important. We knew how to listen to each other, and you don't get that very often.
That's true. That is
yeah. Time for a shot.
Thank you, Mr. Art Acuna, always bringing the party to wherever you go. Mr. Christian Kane, just going back to the second part of my question, aside from the people, what do you miss most about Cebu and the Philippines?
Well, it's the. I know you say the people, but I've got to go back to the family that we built. I mean, it was very strange, and Dean knows this more than anyone. We had a family. We had the Americans that came in that had our way of filming. We had the Filipinos that had their way of filming, and it's completely different. And we had to meld that all together, and we did it. And it really didn't take that long. I mean, it was tough right off the bat because this is how we do it, this is how you guys do it, and we all melded together, and we became this kind of a big family. And that was the whole thing, was that we were doing something that has never been done before. Now there's rules, but we kind of broke the rules, and so that's what I miss most. That's what I want to go back to is just the fact that we've come up with like a gung ho. Sort of, all of us in the pits together doing this whole thing. What Art said earlier was completely right. Well, they ended each other's sentences at the end of, or about episode 5, we knew what each other were thinking. He said that you listen to people reacting, and we all started doing that to each other, and we became a family. And I know you say, what is it that I want to come back for because of all this other stuff? Not the people. It is the people. I got to be honest with you. I want to come back for the people. It's the best.
Thank you, Christian, and we'd love to have you back here to do more projects. Now, my next question will be for Miss Samantha. I know you've already touched on your Filipino side, but we'd like to know more about your Filipino background. Like, do you know where the Philippines your family is from? Did you grow up eating Filipino food? Do you know some Filipino words? Perhaps did you watch some shows or movies from the Philippines?
She's from the Philippines.
Yeah, I do have a lot of memories in the Philippines. I have a lot of great memories with just family and just being able to celebrate something with food. We always like to share food, and the Filipino food is definitely something that I love and always love to come back to. And yeah, my mom is Filipino. She grew up in Manila. And that's where I spent quite a lot of time flying back to and just visiting a lot of amazing, lovely people.
Thank you, Miss Samantha. And now my question is for the local cast. This is just a very short question. All you have to do is give a name and probably the role that you'd like. Since this huge collaboration project has happened, it's not impossible that in the future we'd be working with more international actors in the future. So do you have a dream collab with a specific actor or actress in mind that you like? And if ever, which actor and what role would you like? Maybe we can start with Sir Art.
You better say Chris.
Thinking deeply.
Christian Kane.
What's happening here?
I'll answer for him. Christian Kane, Almost Paradise, season 2.
It depends. Is there a project coming?
Art?
Aside from the great Christian Kane, I think Sir Art Acuna can't hear us. Yeah, so maybe we can start with Sir Noni Bancamino first.
Well, we
Hi,
did
Sir
call him
Noni.
Silent Bob.
It's very.
It's called Silent Bob.
Yeah, okay. Answer. Sige. It's hard to answer that question. Actually, I've been asked that throughout my career, and it's very hard to answer that because we just take on roles that we want to do, that we like. They're very well written, and the characters interesting, and then we just jump into it. I don't have any dreams of like, I would like to work with Robert De Niro someday, but it's even for me, parang it's I'm just very grateful for the jobs that have been coming my way, and my experience with Almost Paradise Christian Kane, Christian, and of course all my with a group of team and everything. And getting this experience was really great, and so I'm looking forward to working again. Yeah, with them.
Thank you, Sir Noni. How about you, Mrs. Casada? Any dream co-actor that you have? Let's say sky's the limit.
Well, for starters, I've been over the moon already, just working with Deep and Christian, of course. But if I were probably to name somebody offhand, it would have to be Frances Dormant. I mean, I've always admired her, but the problem is probably if she's going to be in front of me, I would never be able to do anything because then I would be so starstruck. That's all.
I agree. Frances McDormand is amazing. Sir Art, I'd like to go back to you if you can hear me now. Any dream co-actor from Hollywood that you like to work with? Sky's the limit.
Any dream co-actor I'd like to work with in from that side of the world, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Well, I never thought of it that way, but I once dreamt that maybe I'd love to act with Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, and Christian Kane. Now, so far, Christian Kane.
Correct. That's the correct answer.
You know, and I think those two actors are a hybrid, and they came out. If they got married and had a baby, they'd be Paul Newman and Steve McQueen. Think about it.
You got 1 out of 3. Congratulations.
Yeah.
We're done. We're good. We're good. Thank you so much, Sir Art.
Thank you,
thank you,
Ivy.
Robbie. Thank you, Justin. Congratulations on this huge project. Direct Ruel, Direct Dan, Direct Irene, Direct Hannah, everyone. Sir Dean, thank you so much for this opportunity.